Hello and welcome here to the Red Bull Ring for round 7 of the Rei Sportscar Championship. This is the penultimate round and this is a 60-minute endurance race. On pole position we have a Cyberstrike, and then in second place we've got Pixtecker. In third place we have Tyler. In fourth we've got Charlie Fraser. In fifth we've got Happy Hippie. In sixth place we have Alex Sinclair. In seventh we've got Scanny Flick. In 8th place is Brothers V, in 9th place is Sig Rezanico, and then at the back is a debutant, Frank Jr. He'll be starting on the mediums in 10th position. But we will get away here now at the Red Bull Ring. On pole position, as just mentioned, is Cyberstrike, and he's actually starting on the softer tyre. All drivers must use both the softer and medium compound. Got 42 laps in store, so yeah, about 60 minutes. And away we go. So we've got Cyberstrike there in the Lexus, followed by Pixtecker in the Nissan. It's going to be very interesting, this race, because we've got a lot of drivers now with ballast as this season's progressed, although a couple of the drivers who haven't got ballast include these top two here, Pixtecker and Cyberstrike. And we've already got Pixtecker racing with 3rd place Tyler and 4th place Charlie. We really go on board with Charlie into turn 2 essentially. We've got Tyler on the outside of Pix. Pix defending on the inside, but I think that Tyler's already made that move. He has. That's a great move there from the American. Then we've got Pixtecker trying to hold on here for 3rd. We've got Happy Hippie around the outside. Oh, I don't think that's going to work. Oh, he has. Oh, has he? He has. That's superb, but we've still got Pixtecker here fighting back. Meanwhile, Cyber, who started on pole position, is still in pole position, but the fellow front row compatriot already down to 5th, and now with Alex and Scanny behind. Scanny making a move, no, slight contact, but they get through very safely. Meanwhile, further back up front, we've now got a Tyler making a move for the lead. This is action-packed already. Tyler has 1% of ballast, as does Charlie. Meanwhile, Cyberstrike, who's now fallen down to 2nd, has absolutely no ballast, and now we're going 3 wide. We've got Happy Hippie on the outside, and that's big contact between them. We've got Happy Hippie on the grass. Happy Hippie, I think, went off the track, and then when rejoining, made contact with Cyberstrike, who was then sent into Charlie. We've got Charlie on the inside, we've got Scanny making moves, and now Charlie spun. We've got Charlie out of the race. Well, not out of the race, but that's something we've got to look back on. So it looked like it was actually going to be a move for 2nd on the inside, but then Nick's car was unsettled on exit and it just went straight back into the Supercar World sponsored car. So big shame for Charlie. He's gone from 2nd to 10th there. But that has allowed Happy Hippie now to move into 2nd. And we've also got Scanny. Scanny and Cyber's made contact, but Scanny I think has slowed down to sort of make sure that Cyber's still ahead, and now we've actually got Cyber hand to defend from Brothers V, who's now making up ground, fighting here for 5th place. Oh, really far on the curb, but I think that Cyber can keep it around the outside, and he does. That is great defending, and this might now give Sig Rezanico a chance. And you may notice that there is something quite different here about the Italian. So essentially Honda have sent over the incorrect car here to Austria. They've sent an 11-year-old car here. Ooh, Brothers on the curve. That might give Sig a chance in his 11-year-old Honda NSX. So a big mistake by Honda, and that will cost Sig, because it is probably a bit slower than the more modern cars, especially in the corners. On the straights though, it can be a rocket ship. Further up we've got side-by-side racing here between Pixtecker and Alex. So Pixtecker, he did fall down the order on the opening lap, but he avoided the incidents with sort of Charlie, Scanny and Cyber, and he's back up to 3rd, defending from Alex. And we've got Brothers V off the track, and that has actually allowed Sig to move in the 6th place. But Sig has, well, but in this 11-year-old car, he might struggle. Meanwhile, we've only got Frank here on his debut, just looking in behind, and he only goes to the inside there as Sig makes a move, and makes a move on Brothers as well. I think a bit of contact there forced Brothers onto the curb, but that's Frank into 6th place, and also allowed Scanny to gain 2 positions in that action. So Charlie's now caught up to the back of the field after his sort of spin at turn 1. Beautiful shots here on the Red Bull Ring. If we go back to our lead, and we can see here that Tyler's got about 2 seconds, 1.5 maybe, over Happy Hippie. Now Tyler is on soft tyres, as is Happy Hippie, so this is crucial because we're kind of right in the middle between a 1-stop and a 2-stop race here. Happy Hippie running a little bit wide. I don't know if he gained any time from that, as the curbs are quite bumpy. But he did set a really good lap there of 23.0. Just seeing we've got any racing further back. I think the closest battle here is for 7th, 8th and 9th. You can see in the background, so Frank has actually dropped down the order. Charlie, I think, is now getting past Sig. No, so Sig runs off the track, but Charlie might have an opportunity here going into turn 2. So Frank here on his debut, started at the back, and he's fallen down. Charlie making a move on Sig, Rez and Nico? No, thinks differently about it as he approaches the apex. Ooh, Sig running wide, so the sort of probably less downforce there that he got in that old 2008 NSX, and that is hampering him, especially on the exits of corners. And Charlie here sweeping on the inside there into what is essentially turn 3. Good move there into 8th place. So Sig is actually our championship leader, but with a mix of ballast and this cock-up from Honda, he's going to have real difficulties here today in this 42-lap race, and you can see his car squirm all about the place. So Tyler's now putting a lap of 23.2, but Happy Hippie's doing the exact same pace that previous lap, so this is very closely matched between these two. They've both got the same ballast value. Happy Hippie has a 1% power and 1% weight value, as does Tyler. As we go further back, we can see there's a slight battle there for 3rd and 4th. And we've also got a battle here between Brothers and Charlie. So Charlie making a good move on Brothers here. Brothers possibly saving some fuel, but we're going to go up front because we've got Pix and Alex, and I think Pix possibly just run a little bit too wide there at turn 2. Alex sweeping through on the exit of the turn. So Alex is now the final podium runner, but there's a long, long way to go. Further back we've got Sig making a move on Brothers, and I'm not sure if Brothers saw him. The Brothers there closing the door very thoroughly. Sig staying in 9th, we've got Frank in 10th now, possibly making a move. No, he was too far back. But we'll go on board here with the 2008 NSX. It's the first time we've been on board with this car all season, for obvious reasons, because why would anyone else drive this car? Honda sent a few good 2016 Hondas, but they had one too few. So Charlie went on the soft tyres to try and stay near the front and get some good ground and clean air at the front, but due to that spin, it means he's now having to fight here with other drivers, including Scani, Brothers and Sig, as we just saw. Scani's on the medium tyres there, but Charlie is on the soft tyres and he might make a move. Could be a late braking manoeuvre, no, so he backs out of it again, but that might still work out for him as we approach turn 3. Now, Scani is one of the drivers to be on 3% ballast, along with Alex Sinclair and Brothers. And they've actually closed in on Cyberstrike in this lap. I think that Cyber might have made a mistake. He did have quite a bit of a gap. He's had some good lap times so far on those soft tyres. We go on board here with the Honda NSX with Charlie Fraser. We've actually got 5 British drivers here, all from 5th to 9th, and that is because we've seen Sig, Rez and Nico fall down the order. Oh, so Sig, Rez and Nico at the exit turn 3 has just got on the gravel, and that has spun his car around. And he's still struggling to control that car, but we'll go back up to this battle for 5th place. Cyber defending very well into turn 1, but is taking a little bit of penalty there, and Scanny slipped through, but Charlie was unable to get by. This is really ruining Charlie's strategy here, getting held up here on the soft tyres. But he might make a move. No, he got very loose on the curb, so I don't think that move... Oh, it did work. Cyber now down to 7th with Bradders just in behind. Unless Cyber can make a move, he's actually going to the inside here on lap 7. Ooh, and we've got Bradders around the outside, and there's contact. Oh, and Bradders gets forced into the gravel. He does not spin on like Sig. But yeah, we saw Bradders attempting a bit of an opportunity there around the outside, and it was just the smallest bit of contact, and free wide didn't really work, and I think we've had another error at the back of the grid. We have. We're going to go up front though, because this battle for the lead is hotting up. So if we look at the lap times, Tyler's been doing 23.4, 23.5 the last 2 laps. And Happy Hippie has just closed in by a couple of attempts. Plus, Happy Hippie has had an absolutely superb 22.1 out of absolutely nowhere. That's where the majority of his time has been gained. That is an astonishing lap, I think. In the midfield, Cyber actually gapped Bradders B. However, one crucial factor in this race is fuel. So you can see the fuel in the bottom part of the screen, and you can see that Bradders V has not used as much fuel as Cyberstrike in these opening sort of 7.5 laps. The same goes for Frank Jr., who's used quite a bit of fuel. Meanwhile, Sigres and Nico, similarly to Bradders V, has saved quite a bit of fuel. Ooh, and yeah, so Tyler's actually gapped Happy Hippie a bit. Both these drivers are on the soft tyres, so this race could go on for the next 34 laps if they're on the same strategy. And Scanny's made an error here coming through the final turn, and that will give Charlie the opportunity into turn 1 that he's been hoping for these last 2 or 3 laps. But he's not quite close enough. He's very sensibly tucking in behind, and will now go on board here for this slipstream as we go approach turn 2. However, it does seem like the Honda NSX is struggling to get the top speed compared to that Nissan GTR. Ooh. That was close, wasn't it? Can he make the overtake into turn 3? He can, so we've had a lot of racing in turn 3 recently. Charlie moves into the top 5 now after the early incident. Meanwhile, further back it is closing up a little bit between Cyberstrike and Bradders V. Cyberstrike running very wide there in the middle sector, but Bradders a little bit too far back. Lap 10 now, and Tyler there getting on with little yellow rumble strip on the exit turn 1 that can affect acceleration. We might see some pit stops soon, especially if people are on the 2-stop strategy. They might want to get rid of their tyres early, get some clean air, put some good laps in, and undercut drivers later on in the race. We're going to head up to our closest battle on track. It's between Bradders and Cyber. Bradders cutting back towards the outside for the entry, gets a good run out of the exit. This might be the place to overtake. He does have less power and more weight though than Cyberstrike, so that might make it a little bit more difficult to make a clean overtake. Oh, Cyber getting a poor exit. Brothers now side by side with the fellow Brit, and makes the sweeping move there into the middle sector. As we go back towards the lead, if we compare lap time, so Tyler's doing a lot of sort of good low 23.2s. Happy Hippie a little bit more variable. He's had a 24.1, a 22.1, 22.6. But generally these two are matching each other very well, and we've actually got a car into the pit. It is Scannyflick making a pit stop. So he's been on the mediums there for 10 laps, and now he'll probably do 2 long stints on softs, I would assume. He'll have to refuel, so he's used up half of his tank already in these first 10 laps. Oh, is that a move for the lead? It is a move for the lead. That is a great late braking manoeuvre there on the American. So congratulations there, Happy Hippie taking the lead here at Red Bull Ring. Tyler not really having much to answer back with, it seems. I'm just going to check the fuel, so Tyler's used up just over half. Happy Hippie's actually used a little bit more fuel. Maybe Tyler's starting to save fuel, as it's likely that there will need to be some fuel saving as the race progresses. As we go further back, and we actually see that Cyberstrike's re-overtaken Bradders in Sector 1 here on lap 11. And yet again, this is the apex. But Bradders cannot get the move back now. I don't know if this is because Bradders attempting to save tyres, save fuel. Oh, Cyber's off the track. And, well, nothing to worry about now for Bradders V. Nothing to worry about for Frank Jr., who's made his way up from 10th to 7th. Cyber drops to 8th, but he is way clear of Sig, who hasn't pitted yet but has made some big mistakes, and Scanny, who just pitted and is now on fresh softs. Now we're actually going to skip a few laps to about lap 15. So we get to lap 15 and the gaps are quite sparse now. We've got a good few seconds between all the drivers, but we are approaching a pit stop phase and people will be going on to the alternative tyre. Some people are on the softs and will have to go on to the medium. Some people are on the medium and will have to use the soft at some point later on in the race. Now one driver that we haven't really noticed is Alex Sinclair. He made his way up to 3rd in the opening sort of carnage that was ahead of him. And he's been steadily rocking along there with some mid-23s and a few 24s on medium tyres. In 4th place, you've got Charlie Fraser, so he had to make some very good moves. Truly were good overtakes after his early incident. And we've got Pixtecker there, having a great run, a great performance in 5th place. He got points last time out at Kyoto Driving Park. And he's bound to pick up more with only 10 drivers, but he might finish sort of top 5 the way it's looking right now. Bradders V is in 6th place on medium tyres. 7th place is Frank Jr. just ahead of Cyberstrike after that mistake we just saw, and then Sig Resnico in 9th place struggling to make up ground, and then Scannyflick in clean air in 10th. And we got our first pit stop for new driver Frank Jr. He's used up a lot of fuel in these first 15 laps. He's really pushing hard. He will likely switch onto the soft tyres. So he's got a Brembo sponsored red and white livery. He refills the car with fuel, and let's just see what tyres he's on. So he's actually on a new set of mediums. So he's still got to use the soft tyres. So he's doing, oh no, sorry, he is on soft tyres. Will he be able to go the rest of the race? Well, softs potentially can last 26 laps, but it requires a lot of fuel saving to make that long, so I'm going to assume that he's doing a 2-stop strategy with another stint on soft tyres to come. You can see Happy Hippie's tyre wear there, so after 17 laps his softs are still not too bad. Tyler's are even better, so Tyler's tyre wear has been absolutely superb. Now we're just going to skip ahead to the start of lap 19 pretty much. So we've actually got a few pit stops. We've got Alex Sinclair from 3rd place making a move into the pit stop. He was on mediums, meanwhile who was our race leader, Happy Hippie, is now exited the track. So he is definitely going on a 2-stop strategy. He's on a new set of softs, he has to use the mediums later on. This is a very aggressive strategy here. It's a bold call. Will we see it pay off? So the other drivers that we've seen in the pit, so Scanny, he has pitted, and then Alex Sinclair's just rejoined behind him on fresh soft tyres. He started on mediums. Can Alex go the rest of the race on softs? Well, I'm pretty sure he can, but he might decide to do a 2-stop because of the fuel, means you don't have to fuel save as much. And then Pixteca, who has pitted just, he's on new soft tyres, so he will have to use medium tyres later on, as he started on the soft tyres as well. Frank Jr. there down in 10th, but we've had a few drivers yet to make a pit stop, so maybe lonely for now, but we might find some friends soon. Tyler's one of the drivers who has yet to pit. One driver that I'm pretty sure will be pitting is Cyberstrike, because he has pretty much no fuel. Yep, he makes the dive there. It's a tricky pit lane, as you have to slow down just slightly for the right turn, sort of downhill right turn. Further up we can see that Brothers V has still got quite a bit of fuel left. Sigras and Nico still got a little bit of fuel left, but not as much as Brothers V or... Ooh, he's got more than Tyler though, so Tyler's definitely pitting this lap. It's going to be interesting to see where Tyler comes out relative to Happy Hippie. Same with Charlie. Charlie will probably be pitting this lap. Oh, we got a big battle here. So Scanny has finally caught up Sigras and Nico. He's been chasing him for the last 10 laps since his pit stop, and he's still got really good softs. Meanwhile, Tyler enters the pits there, as I predicted, and he has 0 fuel, so that's very well calculated. Let's go on board and look at the back of this Ray Brig NSX. Meanwhile, Charlie Fraser has actually gone out another lap, so he's doing 21 laps, I'm assuming, on his soft tyres, and then another 21 laps on mediums. So Tyler is just leaving the pits now. So I was curious where he would rejoin Rose compared to Happy Hippie. So he's now just on the straight between turn 1 and turn 2, and he's got a Happy Hippie. He is in turn 2. He's actually leaving and approaching turn 3. Brothers V, who's also yet to pit, is actually behind Tyler. So Tyler does not have to make another pit stop. Brothers does, and is behind him. Sig still has to make a pit stop and is now dropping down to 6th place behind Scanny. A little bit of contact, nothing malicious, just sort of a very slight tap forced the Italian off the track. But I'd expect Sigras and Nico into the pit soon for a fresh set of soft tyres. Our race leader, Charlie Fraser, pitting for new tyres, so he'll be on medium tyres. But he was race leader purely for the fact that Happy Hippie and Tyler had already pitted. Maybe if Charlie hadn't have had the early incident, he could have been fighting with them. But there's still a podium possibility here, I think, for him. Here is our race leader, so doing a two-stop strategy, so he has to make a lot of ground on Tyler, but he is on fresh softs and Tyler is on mediums. Happy Hippie will lose probably a good 20 seconds with a second pit stop, but if he can gain that back with aggressive and consistent driving on these soft tyres, it will be certainly worth it. Our closest battle on track here is between the two drivers at the back, Cyberstrike and Frank Jr. Frank Jr., as is his first race, has not got points, and Cyberstrike has yet to get points, but both will be pretty certain to get points as long as they finish the race. Frank making a move on the inside. It's a good move, but I think he's outbraked himself. He has, that's a bit too wide, but Cyber got a very, very poor exit. Struggled to get the power down, however I think Frank there letting Cyber past as he clearly went off the track to make a move. We've got Alex and Claire approaching the Italian. These two are fierce rivals, so that's some good fights in the past. Will this be one of them? I don't think so, because I think we're going to see him jump into the pits, and he does. Now we're actually going to skip ahead just slightly, so Sig rejoins in 10th place. And Brother V, he pits on mediums. Let's just see where he rejoins. So he is refilling up completely. There's a good move there from Frank on Cyber in I think the final turn. Let's actually just get a quick replay of that. This is great racing. So here on the Wolf Cola sponsored replay, we've got side-by-side racing between the final two corners. Superb from these two drivers. As that happens, Brothers V rejoins in 7th place, but we've still got this great racing. Oh, slight contact. Cyberstrike in 8th, Frank in 9th. We've got Sigros and Eco down at the back in 10th place out of 10. As we go back into the lead, we've skipped a few laps, but a new fastest lap of a 22.0 there from the British driver, and some other good 22 laps. This is really, really good driving. He's pulling a massive gap from Tyler. I think this is now approaching about a 15-second lead. In 3rd place, we've got Scanny Flick, who still has to surely make another pit stop just for fuel, maybe a new set of softs. Alex Sinclair is in 4th place. Probably can make it to the end, but that would require some fuel saving. In 5th place is Charlie, and Charlie definitely can go to the end. He's got plenty of fuel. He's going to do 21 laps on medium tyres. In 6th place is Pixteca. Pixt has used 2 sets of softs so far, so we'll have to use mediums later on in the race. About 5 seconds back is Brothers V. He's now on fresh softs. He's got a very, very full fuel tank, so he can certainly burn some rubber, burn some fuel, and get some good pace and a lot of heat into these new Bridgestone tyres. Actually, Continental tyres, I must say, not Bridgestone. Cyberstrike, you can see he hasn't got much fuel, so he'll have to spend a lot of time in the pits at some point in these final sort of 18 laps. But we can see here 8th, 9th and 10th all within a couple of seconds. Cyber's on mediums, Frank Jr. is on soft tyres, and Sig Resnico is in 10th, but Sig I do not expect to pit again. The drivers in 8th and 9th I'm pretty sure will have to pit again. Now Happy Hippie will have to use mediums, but we'll probably use the mediums for as few laps as he'll want to. So probably when he gets to the end of his fuel stint, he'll put some fresh mediums on, fill it up just enough, not too much, and then try and get out in the lead ahead of Tyler. We're going to go with our closest battle on track though. We've got Frank and Cyber fighting yet again here as we approach the final 2 turns. Frank on the inside, Cyber on the outside. It really is a repeat. But Frank making another good overtake on his debut, and that's Sig losing it in the background. Yet a spaghetti for Sig Resnico. So we're just going to skip ahead another lap or so, and we can see that we've actually had a pit stop. So Scanny Flick, who was in 3rd place, has now made his gotta-be final pit stop. He started on mediums, he's now on his 2nd set of softs, so he's had 2 pit stops in total, 3 stints. He's rejoined in 7th place, just behind Brothers V. And if we go on board with Scanny, we'll see him on his new soft tyres. So there's a lot of grip there as we go through turn 3. Regarding the drivers ahead, I'm pretty sure Brothers is going to the end. Pix definitely has to pit again. And then Charlie Fraser, I think, is going to the end. Alex, Tyler and Happy Hippie I'm not as sure about. But Scanny, with no more pit stops to go, is behind both Brothers and Charlie, neither of which will have to pit again, I believe. Maybe I'm mistaken though. And here is the battle for the top 5. So Pix has been in 5th place for a good 20 laps, I think, now. But will he be able to hold on for it for much longer? Ooh, almost hitting the back there of the Nissan GTR. Oh, we got a car round. Is it Sig Nico again? Well, that was easily predictable. And has actually just been lapped. So there you go, Sig Nico lapped in the Rei Sportscar Championship. You heard it here first. But it's fine, he can blame Honda for giving him the wrong car. So Pixecker has a bit less fuel, so that is a little bit less weight for his car, so that will help him against this battle against Brothers V. But his tyres are a little bit worse, so they kind of counteract each other. Also, Brothers has a bit of ballast, so this is a very fair matchup currently. Oh, Pix has missed the apex, gone onto that yellow curb, and once you go onto that yellow curb, it's really, really hard to get the power down. Pix falls down to 6th place, finally out of the top 5 after a really, really good first half of the race from him. Oh, so Frank Jr. has just fallen behind Sig Nico. And I'm pretty sure that Frank has actually made a mistake recently because he was racing fantastically with Cyber Strike. He made a couple of good moves in the final corner, but he's fallen down to 10th, so not at all what he would have wanted. But it's still been a very solid debut. Oh, might be able to move back into 9th because that is a really, really, I mean, lost and found, that apex. Frank here on the inside, but the 2008 grunt might play into Sig's advantage. He holds it around the outside as Frank gets a lot of the curb. And as we go to the leader, he's out in a field of his own here in Austria. And he's got a humongous 25-second lead here to hide Tyler. So I think if Happy Hippie makes a pit stop soon, I think he will rejoin in the lead. And if we look at his fuel, well, he does have to go on to medium soon, but he can still put in a lot more laps on these softs and really maximise the pace of these tyres. And look at that, 22.2. A good 10, I think about 15 laps into this stint. I think this is, and he's still doing 22.2s. This is extraordinary pace, well deserving of leading this. So we've got a few close cars here. We've got Charlie Brothers and Pix here, 4th, 5th and 6th. You can see that Brothers using a bit more curb than Charlie. Oh, and that's on the grass there for Charlie. Brothers, well, I thought for a moment he might have bump drafted him, but instead Brothers goes to the inside for turn 1. Leaves a car width on the outside, a Honda NSX shaped car width, and that's Charlie getting very loose. So Charlie could have got back on the inside on the exit, but that mistake has cost him any opportunity of moving back into 4th place. And we got Cyberstrike from 8th pitting. So Cyber, I'm going to assume will go on soft tyres with 12 laps remaining. He'll fill it up a little bit, probably to about 60, maybe 70%, depending on how cautious he is. Well, there are the lads. Great teamwork from the Northern Yorkshire Cyberstrike team. Oh, we got a spinner. I mean, well, Cyber's filled up 64 litres, but we've got, well, I instinctively thought it was Sigras and Eco. Oh, it's Charlie Fraser. So the Wolf Cola replay here. So you can see the rear of Brothers' car stepping out on the entry, but the rear of Charlie Fraser's car stepping out on the exit. It was just a little bit on the curb, overcorrected, and then he got on the grass, and then from there he had reduced grip and slides into the inside wall. Rejoins in 7th. No damage, fortunately, though, for the Brit. As we go towards the back, we can see that Cyberstrike has just rejoined ahead of Tyler. Tyler is a lap ahead though of Cyber, so we'll get out of the way maybe. Yeah, so Tyler I think just slows down here into turn 2. Sorry, Cyber slows down into turn 2. Tyler making his way there and lapping the British driver. Now just skipping ahead a short while, and we've got our next pit stop, so Alex Sinclair here. We'll really refill up a little bit, but this won't be too long of a pit stop. However, I think the crucial aspect here is where will Alex come out here for his second pit stop compared to Brothers V. And I think you can see Alex's car coming out of the pit lane, and that is a 1 second in it from Alex and Brothers. Brothers moves up to 3rd and does not have to pit again, but his tyres are slightly worn. And then in 4th place we've got Alex Sinclair, but he is on fresh softs. So with 10 laps to go, will Alex regain that position? We'll have to see. Further up front, they're happy if he's still not on the medium tyres, but his lead against Tyler is commanding, it truly is. Seems like Happy Hippie has this race sewn up. Tyler is likely going to be in 2nd unless he has to make an emergency pit stop for fuel. Let's just check his fuel. I think Tyler might have to do a little bit of fuel saving, but nothing too extraordinary. But then for 3rd and 4th, who will we see rounding out this podium? So Cyberstrike there putting in his fastest lap of the race at 24.1, that's really good stuff there. We're just going to skip ahead another lap or so, as Happy Hippie approaches lap 36, I don't believe he's used the medium tyres yet. Unless I've been mistaken this whole time, but his fuel is running low, so I'm pretty sure he'll put on the mediums for the final 6 laps. We can see here that Alex is still about a second behind Brothers. Brothers has been setting high 22s, low 23s, his fastest lap is a 22.8. As is Alex's, you cannot get much closer than this. Brothers is holding on well for now, but his tyres might hit a cliff soon. In 5th place, still driving superbly, is Pixteca. However, will his tyre... well, he still has to use medium tyres, sorry. But he can put on new medium tyres, and I don't believe he will have to refill much fuel. At the back we got Frank Jr., so he has had to make a splash and dash with 8 laps to go. But I did point out that he hadn't been saving much fuel, so he goes on to... well, he's had a lot of fuel there, definitely too much. He's lost probably about 10 seconds more than he needed to, but he's on fresh tyres. Be interesting to see what laps he can put out there. Cyberstrike is about 15 seconds up the road. With Sig getting loose yet again. It seems like every time I follow him, he's losing it. And Happy Hippie, our race leader, is pitting. Probably only needs to put in about 30 litres. Any more could potentially cost him the win. You don't want to overfuel and cost yourself time. Yet another Yorkshire pit crew doing wonders for Happy Hippie. He fills to 40 litres, maybe that's a little bit too much. But if we go to Tyler, you'll see that Tyler is down the other end of the straight. So Happy Hippie rejoins out the pits with a 10-second lead with 5 and a bit laps remaining. Brothersby actually getting a little bit away from Alex, it seems. But if Brothers starts to make a mistake, then Alex is there to pounce. In 5th place we've got Pixteca, but Pix, they're making a second pit stop. He'll do a similar thing to Happy Hippie and go on to medium tyres for the final few laps. So what these two drivers are doing are, they are minimising the number of laps they have to use on the mediums by maximising their speed and potential on the softs. Now, will he come out behind Sigros and Nico? Stay here, just coming around the final turn. Pixteca now coming towards turn 1. Pix has filled up a little bit too much, I think. Don't think you need 43 litres for these final few laps, but he is ahead of Sigros and Nico for now. He rejoins behind Charlie Fraser though. As we go back to this battle for third, we can just see them lapping Frank Jr., who very nicely getting out of the way. Ooh, and some sparks there coming off the bottom of the Lexus. And I think he's made a slight mistake. I think Brothers has run wide. Alex now has an opportunity to go on board, and Brothers is actually defending into the final 2 turns. And we've already seen some great side-by-side racing, and this seems to be following suit. And actually, one of the drivers that has the best view of this is Frank Jr. Will Alex make the move into turn 1? He actually goes for it, but too far back, and that's actually probably cost him some time. So these drivers have got 5 laps to go. Happy Hippie, who's about halfway around the track, will soon make in that 4. Alex down the inside at turn 2. No, a little bit too far back, but Brothers V's run wide, and Alex not close enough, but that's okay. There's still a few laps to go. Yet again seemingly going down the inside, but Brothers shuts it off very cleanly, and that might allow Brothers to get a little bit of a gap now. Although you can see his tyres are much more worn than Alex Sinclair's. Well, 2 of the closest fields, 2 of the closest cars are Tyler and Cyber, but they're a lap apart. So we'll go back to our battle for 3rd place. Ooh, and Alex actually almost on the inside of the penultimate turn. But this is the closest he's really been. I think he's possibly a bit closer this lap than he was on lap 3rd at the start of lap 38, as they're now on lap 39. Some fantastic liveries here in the Rei Sportscar series, Rei Sportscar Championship, and these two are just some of the ones that we could show off. The final round, which is next week, is at Fuji Speedway, this time with the chicane. It'll be two 45-minute races, which is approximately 30 laps. This is incredibly tense between these two. I do not know who's going to come out on top. But Alex is hungry. Alex wants that third place so badly. Using a little bit more of the curb was Alex on the entry, but on the exit it was Bradders using the track. Lap 40 of 42. Bradders a little bit wider on entry. Alex using more of the curb, and that actually might give Alex what he needs to make a move into turn 2. You can see he's closing, he's closing, he's closing. Getting that slipstream, and now it's really starting to kick in. Dives down the inside. Bradders on the outside, and just enough car width gave from both of them. Bradders sticks it around the outside like honey. We're just going to very quickly go to our leader, so Happy Hippie here. Haven't seen much of him, but he is now just approaching lap 41. Tyler, again about 10 to 15 seconds back in second place. Superb performance from him as well. And then in third and fourth we've got Bradders and Alex. Further back, not much has changed in the midfield. Scanny, Charlie, Pix and Sig, 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th. We've only got a yellow flag. That might be Cyberstrike losing control. It is, but still in 9th place, about 5 seconds now ahead of Frank Jr., who's just behind this battle for third, and that's Alex Sinclair on the inside of Bradders V. Bradders on the outside and holds on to the position. But Bradders runs wide, he misses the apex, and Alex might have an opportunity. But I think Alex got a little bit of oversteer on the exit of that turn. Oh, Alex going to the inside now for turn 1. This is the 5th or 6th time I think Alex has attempted to move on turn 1, but this time I think it's worked. He's got a slight overlap now as we go down the back straight. Brad has just touched that the yellow rumble strip that so many have fallen victim to. Pixtech fell victim to it earlier while trying to defend from Bradders. Alex on the inside now into turn 2. Bradders on the outside, just giving enough room, and Ali gets a little bit of a better exit, I think. But is it going to be good enough to retake third place as we go into turn 3? Well, he's pulling away, but he has not got the car overlap. Alex can stick it on the inside now. Bradders rear the car getting loose, and I think Alex might get the overlap finally. We go on board, and you can see that Alex has finally got that. Just got that car length ahead, and Bradders has to slot into 4th place, but you can see that Bradders is now looking back at Alex with the same hunger that Alex had with him. But Alex has now made that 2 car lengths, 3 car lengths, and at least Sigras and Nico's managed to get past Pixteco. That 41. Let's get this on a Wolf Cola sponsored replay. So it was similar good racing here for 7th place as we just saw for 3rd. But now the power of the 2016 car coming into play, but Sig has that inside just like Alex had the inside just a moment ago. And the inside working wonders for both Sig and Alex there. So we're now on the final lap. Our leader, Happy Hippie, will approach the line soon. But in 3rd place we've got Bradders going off the track. Bradders pushing very hard. His tyres are very worn now. Potentially he's hit a slight cliff. And Alex are pulling away now. 7 tenths ahead. In 5th place we've got Scanny Flick there, just lapping Frank Jr. 6th place we've got Charlie Fraser. Sig is 7th, who's pulling away from Pixteco. Cyberstrike in 9th and Frank Jr. there in 10th. But our leader, who's led for so much of this race, and even when he wasn't, he managed to make a really good move on Tyler. Fantastic win, he deserves to celebrate. 1st place for Happy Hippie 79 here at the Red Bull Ring. 25 points to him. In 2nd place we will have Tyler Just going to quickly go back. So Alex, ooh, I don't think he's got much to worry about with Bradders. Frank, well, he was down in 10th anyway, but he's having to pull himself out of the gravel. But Tyler there getting a superb second place. Great performances here from both of them. That's both Tyler and Happy Hippie. Third place, I think, is Alex Sinclair. Superb action there between both of them. Alex was fighting behind Bradders for about 8 laps before he eventually made the move. They come home in 3rd and 4th. 5th will be Scanny Flick, about 5 seconds back. 6th is Charlie Fraser. Potentially could have been a podium if not for that early spin. In 10th you can see there crossing the line is Frank Jr. And then in 7th and 8th we'll have Sig Nico and Pix Tekka. You can see both of them there. And then in 9th place, who's already crossed the line, is Cyberstrike. So this has been round 7 of the Rei Sportscar Championship. We hope that you thoroughly enjoyed it. Well done to Happy Hippie 79, and we will see you next time out at Fuji Speedway.